It's time once again to slip into your camo, grab your bow, and join us out in the field for another episode of the Up North Journal, presented by PSE Archery. The Up North Journal crew is knocked and ready to rock for another exciting adventure. So let's step outside and hit the trail.
Hi, everybody. This is Mike Adams from the Up North Journal podcast. Thanks for joining us on one of our minicasts where we're talking with Bobby Vargas of PSE Marketing. If you want to elevate your archery game or success in the field, take a listen. Hey, we're back for another tech tip with PSE's Bobby Vargas. And last week, Bobby, we had John. We were talking about bow fishing. And I want to pick your brain a little bit this time and see what do we need to do when we start practicing bow fishing to be more successful?
Well, when you want to get ready for bow fishing, you definitely have to have the right equipment for it. We have several different models available specifically designed for bow fishing. You can be fairly successful with your current equipment and adding some bow fishing accessories to it, but getting the right equipment to start with is huge from the beginning. But to practice with it, I mean, you're obviously shooting in a downward position, so you have to find a way to get yourself up into an elevated position. And you don't have to get too high. Make sure that whatever you do, you're being safe. And if you need to get strapped down with some kind of harness, do it. Make sure that you're safe when you're practicing. But you have to get into a position where you can practice shooting downward. And if you're going to be bow fishing out of a boat, practice out of that boat. And the reason I say that is because too many guys that get on a boat for the first time, if they're on a buddy's boat or something like that, I've heard about too many guys busting their bottom cam on the rail of the boat. So you need to be able to know your surroundings, know the environment you're going to be in, so you can practice for that type of environment. So get it into some kind of elevated position where you can practice shooting downward. There are actually a couple of really cool carp 3D targets now that you can practice on. So you're shooting at an actual fish. If you don't have an actual fish, any target will do, but get into a position where you can practice shooting downward. Be aware of the position of your bottom cam or your bottom limb tip to make sure that you're familiar with where those are going to be at any time you're going to take a shot, and get yourself used to that. And then the thing about that is you can practice and practice and practice, but when you're not on the water, it's not teaching you how to aim. So when you actually get on the boat or you're on the water and you see that fish and you're going to take that shot, the refraction of the water actually has you seeing that fish in a different position. So you have to aim low, aim underneath the fish when you're shooting at it. So that part you can practice shooting, in the backyard, and you're trying to hit a particular spot and just aiming below it, by practicing that way. But really, the only way you get really, really good practice at shooting fish in the water is by practicing by shooting into the water, so you know and have a good idea of how far below the fish that you have to aim. If they're close to the surface, really close to the surface, you can pretty much hold right on, but the deeper they get, the lower you have to aim. And typically, 4, 5, 6 feet is about as far as you're going to be able to see in most waters. Just be aware that you have to aim below the fish when you're shooting at them in the water.
So maybe take maybe a plastic bottle and maybe submerge it in the water, anchor it with something safe that you could shoot at, so you wouldn't be damaging your bow fishing arrow as well. Would that be a good way to try something like that?
That would be awesome to try something like that. I've heard some people trying that. Not a lot of people have the resources to practice in water, but if you have a pond nearby, or if your wife's going to let you practice in your pool in the backyard, go ahead and do that. But,
Mama won't let me do that.
I gave you that tip. I can't be held responsible if you use your backyard pool, but if you can, that's it. Shooting into the waters is going to be the best way to get your practice.
Mama might take care and start practicing on me and shooting me if I were to do that with a pool. But no, that's great advice, Bobby. We really appreciate you sitting down and taking a few minutes and talking about some ways we can practice and get better at getting after those fish. That'll do it for this tech tip. Take care. Thanks once again for listening to one of our minicasts with Bobby Vargas of PSE Archery Marketing. If you'd like to listen to our full-length podcast, make sure you go over to our website, upnorthjournal.com. You can find this along with other great things on our Facebook page, Twitter page, and Instagram.